Hello. Okay. So I'm back. I just took a little break. I went and I got some dumplings. I got. I've been thinking about kimchi fried dumplings for like 2 days straight, uh, and I had to go get them. Not as good as I was thinking. Really, I should have gone. I think fried dumplings are a side dish. You should have them on the side of something else. Uh, shouldn't be your main dish. If you're gonna have a main dish of dumplings, it should be the shui the boiled dumplings or steamed dumplings because I guess it's just the lack of I mean, just based on that information, you'd say it's the lack of moisture going on there, but, I feel like that's not it. I feel like the crispiness and the dryness is, like, something that, would be a great complement to something else you're eating that is not crispy or dry, you know? But then when it's the only thing is the crisp, it's not as good. It's a waste. It's a waste of the goodness. Anyways, so let's see here. F-16s are out flying around. I actually said hi to a human being a second ago. I was I'm confused in general. I'm very confused in general. Not like in a bad way, for the most part, but just sort of like, wait, why do I do the things that I do? And am I? Uh, because it's just like there's so much fun to be had here, so much food to be had, so much like there's like just generally like the amazing getting away from my American life. I needed it so bad. And like there should be I've needed a girlfriend for so long. And like generally speaking, like I used to, when I lived in Taiwan before, my Chinese wasn't any good, and not only was it a language issue, but also, like, I wasn't very comfortable, like, expressing myself in Chinese, um, and so you think there's just so much, uh, to 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 experience and enjoy, um, here, but I'm also, like, on a fucking mission, a mission from God, like, to do something. I'm not even 100% sure what it is, but and also this whole thing that I'm doing, um is like my speed is amazing right now. I'm making such amazing progress because again, it's no marijuana and not regularly interrupted by parenting duties, and my hippocampus is functioning properly, and I'm not working on what I want to work on when I'm not on my at work. I'm just 100% of the time. So the speed is amazing, and I would like to keep it that way. But I got a lot done today, so it's sort of like, why wouldn't I go just neg- just what's the word? Uh, Network a little bit. But honestly, you know what? I feel like it's not good, man. I feel like if I get things set up properly, whatever that means. I'm not gonna worry about defining that right now, although it's a good idea to define that, but not at this moment. If I get everything set up and then I have like an offer and I'm doing sales and I'm calling people like SEO companies, for example, or drone companies or service providers that, and then I network. But like right now it doesn't, and also just I don't know, it's just such a productive day, and tomorrow's Monday, it'll be even more productive. So what would be best is just stay focused. So don't break my focus. But honestly, sometimes it's like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why don't I just say what's up to other human beings once in a while here and there? It won't in any way be bad at all for anybody. Anyways, so the thread about I was, I could have gotten like a coffee or something and drank it while I did this, but you know what? I don't know. I gotta stop drinking coffee constantly just because it's available all 24 hours a day everywhere here cheaply. And it's good. The coffee here is better. And you know what? Like buying a coffee that somebody makes from you here is as much as expensive as a K cup in the US is buying a K cup from the grocery store. It is ridiculous. Okay, anyway, so um yeah, so this thread, the drones thread, oh yeah, I should pull it up. Now, I don't know, I think I felt like it was going pretty well in terms of just getting basic information, but again, the thing that I really need to do is find service providers. I mean, I guess I did do that more in this thread than in the whatever that other thread was, the agentic commerce thread. So I did do that. I'm getting distracted by the things on X. Um, but it's just like I don't know, it's the first time I've ever gotten into this, and it's the first time I've ever really gotten into agentic commerce as well. But it just turns out that so much of agentic commerce is just like an extension of what I was already doing with the chatbots. So, but anyways, so as far as the drones go, I do think I'm giving myself totally free reign. Not that I don't already do this anyways, no matter what, but I'm giving myself totally free reign to, I don't know which. Yeah, that's the one. Like you're off into politics or economics or anything uh, with this, because I do feel like I can use all political analysis, all economic analysis, financial, like how to invest in Taiwan sort of things, uh, how to buy Taiwanese stocks, how to get into Taiwan REITs. All of these things are relevant um, and can be used to drive traffic. But that still doesn't answer the question of whether or not that traffic is the traffic I want and need. Is that traffic actually going to convert? Um, and so I'm not going to like go out of my way to create that sort of content to drive traffic, because again, traffic doesn't necessarily convert. And also, will that even really drive traffic? So there's like two variables in there that, so it's not, but I mean, I think it's just all like kind of every single thing in the whole entire world brings me to the question of Taiwanese drones. And for that reason, I don't think I should shy away from missing any other thing in the whole world, basically. However, um, not however, additionally, I think that Xi Jinping is a fucking maniac. And I think I might have said this in the last live stream. I think he's a fucking maniac, and he's not gonna care. He's just gonna go for it. Um, and uh, I think he knows about as much as military strategy as he does about the economy, and clearly he has not done a good job on the economy. Um, but I also think that he must be, on some level, first of all, he can't be totally reckless. Otherwise, he never would have even made it this far. And secondly, um, I worry because he's clearly really good at these political battles within China. And I worry that somebody that is good in that way could potentially know nothing about war and pick it up very quickly, because that's just the way his mind is already structured. And also, I think that he very much could be willing to take a lot of pain and dole out a lot of pain. And, um, I almost hope that he does indeed hit America real hard right away, so that there's zero question in our minds about whether or not we should get involved and to what degree we should get involved. I really hope he does pull a Pearl Harbor so that it's just off the table as to whether or not we need to be involved in this. I don't know. I was explaining this all so much more eloquently in my head on the walk home. Anyways, let's get on with it. Is this the one there was another I made another thread where I quote tweeted this thread, and it was all about like, because right now where my head's at is like service provider. There's a service provider, and there is wait, what am I? Where did that go? I wrote it down somewhere. Apparently, it's not all that's in my head if I can't even remember. That's it, just service provider. Find service providers. Find clients. That's it. That's the whole thing. That's the two-step. Anything you do. And so now that that's what's in my head and that's the way I'm approaching this, and I'm like, why haven't I been doing this all along? And I had to like go through a whole thread of why I didn't. But I will say, like, in terms of the agentic commerce and even like the drones, if I didn't know everything that I know now, I feel like I just wouldn't be bringing enough to the table to really just do that two-step. Because even with the drones, it's like, okay, well, if they're being offered on e-commerce platforms, then I can bring the agentic commerce into play. If the thing is going well, I can bring chatbots into play. Like, if I need marketing, I can bring SEO into play. But like when these things are necessary, not like starting with that in mind. And if I didn't know everything that I know now, then I feel like I'm not really adding a lot of value. Or I'm not capable of adding a lot of value. And in terms of the agentic commerce thing, like most of the thing in the last thread about the agentic commerce, I wouldn't even be able to understand what Gemini was talking about. And I wouldn't even know to ask those questions if it weren't for the last 2 years, 3 years, however long it's been, of just struggling with making chatbots. Anyways, so let's talk drones. Yeah, this is the tweet that gave me FOMO. Guy just completely ignored me. This is an Israeli counter-drone system which has multi-layer and multi-sensor detection, long-range threat identification, and 360 protection coverage. It is incredible. How does it work? How about that? How about telling me how it freaking works?
Fire. Elbit's multi-sensor suite guarantees the detection of CUAS threats at vast distances, as well as closing the sensor-to-shooter loop. The solution is equipped with both passive and active sensors, including long-range tactical radar, SIGINT with direction finding to detect control transmission and locate the drone or UAS threat and its operator location, and day and night electro-optics. It is also equipped with jamming capabilities of both control protocol and GNSS, enabling.
I don't know if this tab's audio is getting picked up or not, but in case it's not, it said that it would not only locate the drone, but also the operator
Fixed
of the drone.
location and soft kill disruption of unmanned aerial platforms or their operators' control, together with takeover capabilities.
Takeover capabilities. That's really the ultimate drone defense, is like, if you send drones at us, we can send them back at you. But I don't know why that would be possible with drones any more so than like missiles, for example. Anyways, I really need to find some way of drone takeover. Of drone technology refers to systems such as those from Defend Solutions, designed to detect, hijack, and safely land authorized drones. No. You don't want to safely land them. You want to make them attack the operator or them attack the enemy. Okay, I guess I will simply tweet. I should really add all of these to the drone thread. What is happening here? Maybe did I not post my own drone thread? Did I not bookmark it? Possibly I didn't bookmark it. There's a lot of really good points to be made in these bookmarks here. And I think I've missed some things, to be honest. You know what? I'm gonna have to do it another time though. Dude, what the hell? Okay, my whole drone thread has not been bookmarked, I guess. So I'm just gonna have to go through all of my tweets until I find that thread. There we go. This has got to be it. All right, that's kind of a super bad place to put it, to be honest. But All right. So let us review. I was doing a SEO thread earlier, and then I just abandoned it so that I could do drones instead. So there's a huge opportunity in drones and drone components right now because the US has banned sales of DJI drones. That's right. I almost forgot that that was the huge impetus for this. Also, it's just because I'm constantly thinking. I was already thinking about drones, and then I realized that DJI got banned, and then I was like, "Holy shit! Okay, now we're really talking." So it's a huge opportunity. But whenever I think about drones, then I immediately go to anti-drone tech, and I think Taiwan might be the because you know Russia was the it had the very strong traditional army, and so Ukraine used the drones as to counter that. But it's different with China because they're going to be using drones as their go-to weapon immediately. Um, so for Taiwan, it might actually be not that they get really good at having like an indigenous bottom-up, extremely Hayekian development of a drone industry, but that it's actually the anti-drone, which could be all sorts of things, including 3D printers. Like if there's a lot of just a huge distribution of 3D printers, and everybody is 3D printing has they're sending each other the files to 3D print out a drone nets, and then they're putting drone nets everywhere. Or I don't know if that's a good use of a 3D printer, but like a shotgun that shoots out a net, for example, or these bullets that are especially for drones, or jamming techniques, or an EMP weapon, or like a microwave weapon. I don't know. I think it's a question where you'd have to like look at like, well, what is the most cheap and easily decentralized and distributed anti-drone technology. Um, but anyways, it's a little bit difficult because on one hand, it's sort of like you want to think about drones in your like the war or whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, the opportunity here is for commercial drones, and so like are all of those really truly yes. Like ultimately, I think it's like not just drones, but drone component manufacturing, like all forms of electronic sourcing, the entire supply chain, electronic sourcing, and then all anti-drone, uh, every piece of the supply chain of every single type of anti-drone technology. This is all on the table. But I think for now, just to start with, the main thing is just commercial drones, probably on the hobby end. Okay, so again, I don't think I actually can increase Taiwan's defense capacity myself. So if I say things like that, it's not because I'm delusional, but it's because I know that both the Taiwan Defense Department and the U.S. Defense Department, even though I don't think either of them are actually called that, the Ministry of Defense and the Department of War, I think it's just like a flipped mirror image of each other. Um, they they're both going to be lobbying for this industry, for the Taiwanese drone industry, and to have Taiwan drone manufacturers invest in the U.S. and make some in the U.S. And for that reason, and the U.S. has all sorts of vested interests in getting this industry going, and probably like very uniquely not going to be subject to tariffs and stuff like that although it is potentially subject to disruptions by the CCP. And yeah, again, like, if I was just doing this without bringing anything else to the table, I would feel weird. But I know that in the event a chatbot is helpful, I can make a chatbot. In the event any automations are necessary, I can make an automation. In the event um, that the marketing needs SEO, I can do SEO. So it's like I'm bringing a lot to the table, and I don't necessarily have to explain that to people. I just find drone manufacturers and find people that want drones on the other side. But then, like, in the middle, I can do all sorts of things. Make a directory and info hub. That's a good place to start. Add companies to directory, and then use that as an excuse to contact them. See if I can establish a relationship. If relationship established, then I can offer them services. I can provide you with marketing or sales, and you pay me directly. uh, oh, okay, never mind. I thought I lost the audio for a second. All right, and yeah, with the directory, you can a directory can get leads, and I can use a web form chatbot to capture those leads and then sell the leads to a drone company. And ultimately, theoretically, I can use agentic commerce to make it so that you can just buy the drones from within the chat, or from within ChatGPT, or from within Gemini. And I should analyze cost structure. I made a YouTube channel for drones. I'll do it with it what I do with all my other YouTube channels, subscribe to a whole bunch of channels about drones, and I'll look through them and then summarize the videos with Gemini, and then post daily drone updates to Twitter, and then I'll make a live stream. This is good. This is the way it should work, is that I'm not actually reading any of this. It's just like it's triggering me to like say the thing that I already it was like thinking, and then I look up and I'm like, oh, I'm literally saying exactly what it says. I didn't even realize that, because it's not about what's written here. It's about the thought. And it's not, yeah. The results are completely dominated by DJI, which is great. Because everybody that's advertising their DJI drones in the USA is a potential customer for Taiwanese drones. DJI drones make up 90% of registered US drones. That's a $4.8 billion market that is dominated by DJI, which needs to go away. Oh, and that's the thing, like the rules that are being set here by the FCC and the DoD are kind of complicated. So there's a huge opportunity for content that just explains the rules. And then on top of that, considering that this is a huge opportunity, a lot of Taiwanese companies do stand to make a lot of money here. And that's why you can write about which companies, that's another content opportunity, is writing about which companies are going to benefit from this, like de-Chinifying the supply chain, and then how do you invest in them? Because they're not, most of them are not listed in the New York Stock Exchange. And just in general, like how to invest in Taiwan, why you should come visit Taiwan, uh, how to get the digital nomad visa in Taiwan, and just directories and directories and directories. I love it all. But again, obviously, of course, there's limited time and limited energy. So we'll see what I get around to doing and what I don't get around to doing. But ultimately, I feel like this agentic agent, what I did today, these two threads, the agentic commerce thread and then this drone thread, are not. That's not what I need to be spending my time doing. Like this is research. This is like a this is like a one-off task. Two different one-off tasks. I mean, there will always be some research, but this like to really dive in and figure things out, and then like once the basic research is established, for the drones, the main task is adding drone companies to a drone directory and looking for buyers. And then for the agentic commerce, it's adding people that can implement agentic commerce to a directory and then looking for buyers of their services. I think that's the way I'm thinking about it right now. I'll probably think something completely different tomorrow. I'll probably start like go back and no, I have to be able to provide the service. Like, how do I do this? I need an example to show people, blah, blah. But right now, it's all making perfect sense to me, the two-step. Just find suppliers, find buyers, and that's all. Just and then repeat. Right. So DJI alternatives is probably a really good term to target, a keyword to target. However, it did like in trends, it has a huge spike in when the drone ban was announced, and then less and less. But I'm sure it's still plenty of traffic. Holy Stone is headquartered in Taipei, Taiwan. They're a major player in the prosumer and beginner drone market, often sold through major online retailers like Amazon. But when I looked at their website only talks about components. It does not talk about full drones. Which, yeah, I should really look at Amazon. I need to look at Amazon. I need to look at eBay. I need to look at Shopify for drones. So that will be future threats right there. AIDC is working with domestic manufacturers Taiwan UAV and Thunder Tiger on production, and with US-based Vantor to develop GPS-free visual positioning technology. That's pretty sick. So then if they jam the satellites, they take out satellites, it'll still work, I think is the idea there. I'm not sure. Tao said, Taiwan's drone industry already has strong capabilities in key components, including chips, communications, navigation, optics, and mission modules, emphasizing that avoiding Chinese-made parts is essential. Customs Administration data showed that drone exports totaled just 93 units at the end of 2023, but surged to more than 70,000 units by the fourth quarter of last year. Holy moly. So I came at the right time. Not really. I mean, the right time would have been to come before everything took off, the chips but you can only really do that if you somehow magically know exactly what's going to happen in the future. Also, I couldn't possibly have come any earlier than I did based on my own life. Tao said AIDC's plan to set up a plant in Arizona was driven by the Buy American Act with the aim of shortening supply chains and improving delivery speed and reliability. French drone manufacturer. Wait, what did I just read? Oh yeah, and this is the link to like the one of the alliances. tedboa.com.tw. Hopefully I remember to go look at that again. I'm hesitating to bookmark it because that I don't know. All right, fine, I'll bookmark it. I'd rather be annoyed than forget about it and also waste the effort of having dug it up in the first place. So Parrot signed several partnerships with Taiwan companies, including for drones for the US militaries, having decoupled from Chinese suppliers. Right. So Parrot is an example of a company that no longer uses Chinese suppliers. That's glorious. Okay, so all of these tweets in this part are all pretty much exactly how I started this live stream. So I don't really need to go into talking about any of that again. This was when the coffee hit. When the coffee first hit, like I just had a rush of thoughts and they were all over the place. And I was very confidently, happily spewing my opinions. Oh, right. I almost forgot about this. I almost forgot about this. Uh, that what I should be doing is really not, and I just realized I've gone down this path like 10 times in the past 10 years. Like at once per year, I like, oh, I should like make a list of Taiwan sourcing companies. Uh, but anyways, so yeah, that's not necessarily that I need to make a list of drone manufacturers. I need to make a list of sourcing companies. And then the sourcing companies, I can help them with their SEO and stuff, with their SEO and their sales and their marketing. Or at the very least, I can analyze it. I don't know, with their GEO. Yeah, their GEO. And then, as I said, so that's it. Once you think about it in those terms, it's sort of like I'm doing exactly what I was doing before, except for with a niche now. Now the niche is drones, which, by the way, leads me right back to where I was of wanting an SEO agency as a partner, because that way, or to be offering white label SEO services, because that way, um, if I'm working with these sourcing companies and I'm offering them services, but I'm not the one that has to actually provide all the services. Right. This company, where was this? So the TAITRA, Taiwan External Trade Development Council, they have a chatbot. It was kind of interesting. And I did not know that you can share your Google AI mode searches. You can share your Google AI mode searches. It's kind of cool. I'm curious now as to whether you share stops when you share it, or it looks like it does stop because I kept that conversation going. Oh, I didn't realize this either. You can just look at your AI mode history, and it doesn't even. Oh, I can't tell if it includes your. No, it doesn't include your Gemini history. That's good because that was one thing I was kind of wondering, where is that? All right, back to EDX was a procurement consultancy that finds and assesses manufacturers in Taiwan, offering end-to-end supply chain solutions for those avoiding China-based sourcing. Shia Metal and Sourcing is a dedicated purchasing agent in Taiwan that operates on a commission or project basis. They provide a single contact window to manage local suppliers and factory audits. Island Biori is a small firm that works locally to help international programs source high quality Taiwanese drone parts with clear origin verification. And I just saved their link right there. These firms act as middlemen for full drones, often representing multiple brands to give you a single point of purchase. Drone Vision, Xuanyuan Tech, Thunder Tiger Group, Geosat Aerospace and Technology. And in the thread, I just screenshot the response from Gemini for that one. And in the thread, it gives a more detailed description of each of these. If you want a small agency feel but need a full drone, you look for white labeling. You can hire Funet Technology or Avalon Intelligence to source components and assemble them into a finished product under your brand. Maybe we'll get there. Drones Vision acts as a master distributor. They're often the point of contact for international clients looking to procure Taiwanese made industrial drones. Taiwan UAV functions as a systems integrator and distributor. They don't just sell one brand, they source and integrate various Taiwanese payloads, cameras, data links, etc., into airframes designed and manufactured within Taiwan for government and industrial use. Coretronic Intelligent Robotics Corporation. This is a Taiwanese company that has successfully entered the US market directly by mass producing drones in Taiwan and selling them to US municipal police and fire departments in California, Texas, and Florida. That's pretty sweet. So even if they're not interested in doing work with us, copy them. Copy these people. Xenotech is a US technology company that has global offices and is growing its drone as a service business. What does drone as a service even mean? It is a business model where organizations outsource aerial data collection, inspection, and mapping tasks to specialized third party providers rather than buying, maintaining, and operating the drones themselves. It provides on demand access to the technology, certified pilots, and data analysis. Huh. Fascinating. So, I'm going to go ahead and add that to the end of the thread. I went way too far back. Nope, not really, actually. Oops. Okay. Where was I? Zenitech. Final assembly of some Zenadrone solutions designated for U.S. Department of War are completed in the Mesa, Arizona facility, which sources vision sensors and components from Taiwan. So the most advanced anti-drone system, which is not like an anti-drone, it's like anti-drone swarm system. It seems to be this Leonidas. It is. I mean, this is. I guess this is the most frightening possibility, and possibly the most frightening part of it is that nobody's talking about it. Few people are talking about it. Um, if Ukraine can make how many drones? Like 7 million drones in a year. Then couldn't China stockpile like 500 million drones and then just attack with all of them at one time? That's kind of the fear. That's kind of the issue that I'm worried about. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to go into about the logistics of that and whether or not it's actually feasible. And like they would have to get the drones within range first. And in order to get the drones within range, they would either have to use drones or go without drones so that they save them all for once they've already managed to ship them all onto the island. Which means, but if they don't save them all, then that means we can see how they're using their drones before they make it onto the island. And if they don't use them all, and then of course, if they don't use them all, then what that means is that they're using non-drone swarm warfare in order to get onto the island, which means the logistics of getting the drones onto the island could be disrupted. So then you don't necessarily have to compete with all 500 million drones all in one go. You have to compete only with even is 500 million even much? I mean, imagine that they could make, well, we don't know how many Chinese people there are. There might be 1.4 billion, there might be less. But if they could make one drone per person, right? I feel like they could make 5 drones per person. So we're talking about like 5 billion drones. Imagine if they launched 5 billion drones all in one go. I don't know. I suppose the logistics of that would be impossible to hide. Okay, so the other thing is if they did it all at one time, if they really did it all at one time, like the targeting would probably be terrible. Either it's got to be, there's not enough people to do the targeting, or it's AI, and you've never let AI engage in actual autonomous targeting in real combat ever. So you could waste your whole, if you launch them all at once. But still, I mean, if they have 5 billion drones, then they could have, it's like they could have 5 bullets, launch a billion drones, and then launch another billion drones a month later, and then launch another billion drones a month later. But the issue is just after the first time, it's not a surprise anymore. So whatever countermeasures are possible, we'll be preparing them. That scenario, though, does really massively increase the argument that I have been making to myself that there should be nets. There should be nets. Like Taiwan just finished its military exercises, spring military exercises, and the Hanguang, and I didn't see any mention of anti-drone nets at all. But that's it should be literally this should be part of the Hanguang should be civilians putting up drone nets and then taking them down. That should just be a drill that people do all the time. Just like when we hear the signal, we know what to do. We go grab our nets, we put them up, and as soon as we hear the signal, we go take them down. That it's just like it's just drilled into us. Put up the drone nets, take down the drone nets. And then in wartime, we may or may not actually take them down. I don't know. Maybe that's something I can convince people to do. Okay, so they're for the Align drones, which are the Align drones are the most DJI-like drones. Yeah, but that whole scenario that I was talking about with the massive amounts of drones being, that would the Leonidas system would be the ideal method of dealing with that. I think, unless it doesn't work. Yeah, so the are the most DJI style. They have an online store. They will ship overseas and take payment from overseas. That's it. That is the whole thread. I thought I went further with that thread. I feel like I went further with the agentic commerce one because I just knew more about the topic to begin with. But this is, you can't exactly dig deep into a topic that you know nothing about, which is the whole point of setting this YouTube channel up. Notice I didn't set up a new channel for the agentic commerce. Why? Because honestly, it's just an extension of the chatbots. It's kind of like looking at it, it's kind of like, oh, I'm like, I didn't even realize I was falling behind. Like, this is the next logical step in that whole entire idea. Um, and not only that, but these things that I've been thinking that I have to do myself for years now. I've been thinking, oh, I got to code that up. I got to code that up. I got to code that up. And now it's like, no, there's like a very established process. There's an MCP server. There's, I mean, it's still not easy because there's auth and there's APIs and there's MCPs. And then there's the schema for the UCP schema. But still, that is a lot easier than just figuring all of that out yourself just by experimenting. And also, what is easier is explaining to people why this is useful. Because if you make that all up yourself, even if you do make something good and it's really awesome, it doesn't mean that like you're going to be able to explain to anybody why that matters. But now, like, now that it's like something that Google is pushing, something that OpenAI is pushing, that Stripe is pushing, that Shopify is pushing, that Walmart and Target are utilizing. Like now, when you go to people and you're like, "Oh, I'm going to make it so people can buy your product through a chatbot, both through Gemini and uh, ChatGPT, and also through a custom chatbot on your website." Like, boom. I should really ask people if I ever manage to talk to a business owner about anything ever again. I should ask them like, what would you be most interested in? A, a chatbot that helps you get Google reviews, a chatbot that helps you with ranking higher in Google, a chatbot that helps you write blog posts that help you rank higher in Google, a chatbot that helps you capture leads and qualify leads, capture like a chatbot for customer service, a chatbot for I could internal use. I could make a whole bunch of internal use, various internal usage options. A chatbot that answers questions of clients and users, or what am I missing? A chatbot that lets people navigate your website, or a chatbot that lets people read your blog posts. Right. Or none of the above. Because that way, if they answer those questions, then in fact, I should make a chatbot which asks people these questions. I wonder if that's actually the best template possible for the sales bot. Like it just starts with like a quiz like that. A quiz bot. It's not really a quiz bot, it's a serve. Honestly, a serve little easy module that I could create. Whoops. Maybe I should just chop that up into like one, like just. Like if I just went around asking everybody, would you like a chatbot that will help you get more Google reviews and help your Google reviews be more valuable? Just ask 1,000 different business owners that question. And then move on to question number 2 and ask 1,000 more business owners that question. And just keep on going. One that gets the most yeses, and then focus on that. Because not knowing where to start when I talk to people is not good. And it's like, oh, you start with their questions, or you start with their, yeah, nah. 10, a chatbot that helps you recruit. 11. You know, like if I like with Jade Dynasty, I mean, obviously the whole thing at the time, it was like, it's like this button. It's like it's an integrated, but it's separated and there's buttons and like it. So that was where my mind was at. But if I would have spliced it up into like, and it's just like, well, whichever one you're most interested in, I'll give that to you first, you know? And then if I'll charge for super cheap, like $20 installation fee and $5 a month. And then if you want another one, like again, another $20 installation, $5 extra a month and stuff like that, you know. Probably would have been better than what I ended up doing. With anything would have been better than what I ended up doing. Not that I regret it or blame myself because you know, I did the best with what I could at the time. Even when you're stressed out and confused and isolated and have these time limits and money pressure and not, you know, it's just you do what you can or you throw Hail Marys left and right. Anyways, this has been a lot of very unfocused rambling, which is fine. Like I kind of feel like the reason I'm having like it's like finally focusing on something else. Um, you know, first SEO and GEO and then and then then the agentic commerce and drones. Like it's allowing me to look back on what I previously did with like a lightness that makes it possible to move the pieces around in different ways and realize, oh, there's like a much easier arrangement to it all than what I was doing. But I don't know. Everything just seems so easy when you're thinking about it. And then when you actually go to implement it, it's just like everything is so fucking hard. Like just getting one person to even look at one thing is fucking impossible. So, you know, look, I can't get a single person to watch my live streams. I can't get a single person to look at my tweets. So what the fuck do I think? Oh, how easy would it be to simply look every time there's a YouTube video, it does get more views. It gets like twice as many views. That is so wild. Let's see this one. No, but this one has another tweet in it and it got less. That's even isn't that the exact opposite of what they said it should be? Let's see, this one has a I should really just plunk down a drone video at the end of this just to see whether or not that one would get more views. All right, anyways. I think I'm good. I think that's all I gotta say. Also, I think I just need to stay in this state of mind for like literally like one more week. Like the speed at which I'm getting things done, I feel like is so very incredible. That I just gotta stay in the pocket. I'm gonna stay in the pocket until I can't anymore.